Hello amigos, and welcome to another episode of Inside the Ropes with Coach Mario. Coach Mario, owner and head coach of Warriors Pride Boxing Academy here in Miami, Florida. How are you guys doing this morning? Well guys, I'm going out for another walk, trying to get back to where I was at before my major surgery. As you all know, I've been trying to recuperate. I hope and pray to God that by this week I should be back at the gym. I'm not gonna be going all crazy at the gym, but I'm gonna be back training some of my fighters for the first time. I'm looking forward to this, and I have to see some of my guys, see their development. My assistant coach is doing one hell of a job, but I also want to give my input on and guidance on some of these guys that are about to have a matchup tournament this next April 27th, and here in Florida. Well, taking a little walk here around the neighborhood. I'm going to talk a little bit about something that is going on with the world of boxing. Got some guys here like cutting the grass around my neighborhood, landscapers and stuff like that. So pardon the noise, all right? I'll try to get away from these guys in a second or so. But anyway, guys, I love the sport of boxing. This is my livelihood, and I try not to talk just about one fighter exclusively. For those guys that are hardcore boxing fans, this channel is for you. All right, for those that are casuals, this channel is also for you, so you can learn and not be just have that tunnel vision with just one fighter, one person that you follow, and only want to hear about that particular fighter. All right. So here in this channel, we talk about every single fighter. All right. And I know that some fighters have more of a following than others, but today we're going to talk about David Benavidez and his options moving forward. David Benavidez, all right? David Benavidez, as you all know, is the number one ranked contender in all the different major boxing organizations for 168-pound division, all right? David Benavidez has been calling out Saul Canelo Alvarez for years. Saul Canelo Alvarez has been avoiding David Benavidez for years. Saul Canelo Alvarez has been avoiding the tough fights for many years. And like I said before, this channel is designed for those guys that have knowledge in boxing and want to see the fights that are the best against the best, and that are not, how can I say it? And that are not, just focused on one fighter or brainwashed by one fighter, or just follow and create an idol of one particular fighter. And that's what we see nowadays. We see a lot of casuals out there who are in love with the likes of Canelo Alvarez, who are delusional, who will defend Canelo Alvarez no matter what, no matter what his actions are, which demonstrate, the lack of confidence in himself and his abilities, or the lack of courage and balls and cojones to fight the top guy. I'm gonna tell you something, and I always refer to back in the day, but that's the way it was, guys. If you're a fighter and you're training at a gym, and somebody calls you out in that gym and wants to spar with you, wants to get it on with you, and the coach is okay with it, and you back away, you back out, what's going to happen? What used to happen was, you better move you better move away from that town. You better leave that town, because they're gonna put the moniker or the label of coward on you. All right, that's the way it was in my town. If for any reason in Humacao, Puerto Rico, when I used to box, I would, or at a gym, I would avoid fighting somebody, or in a street fight, avoid fighting somebody, which I never did. I would have had to move, because everybody would consider me a coward. And that's the way, especially in the Latino culture, how things are, especially in Mexico. Canelo Alvarez is Mexican. Canelo Alvarez should have that Mexican pride, that warrior spirit. Well, previous Mexican greats never backed away from fighting the best. That's what gave them glory. That's what gave them legendary status, like Julio Cesar Chavez, like Salvador Sanchez, and some of these other greats. That's what made them great. They faced everybody. They weren't afraid. Or maybe they were afraid, but they still said, you know what? I'm going to give it all. I'm going to go out on my shield. And that is something that, unfortunately, Canelo Alvarez is not doing. Continues to duck to fight the great fights. David Benavidez has been calling him out constantly. And this guy is giving excuse after excuse after excuse. And the thing that boggles the mind is the Canelo fanboys, the Canelo fanatics defending that. When Canelo Alvarez says something like, who is David Benavidez should give him a fight? What do you mean, who is? He's the guy, he's the #1 ranked. He's the guy that's beat everybody on his path. He's the guy that's destroying everybody. He's your top contender. What do you mean, who is he? And then he comes up and gives another excuse. Says he would only fight him for 150, 200 million. That's what he's doing, is basically pricing himself out, because you can't demand a promoter to pay such an exorbitant amount of money for a fight that everybody knows what's going to happen. All right, everybody that is not a fanboy, everybody that is not delusional, or is a person that believes Canelo is indestructible and continues to give excuses for Canelo and protect him, and just believe everything coming out of his mouth. For me, that person has shit for brains. All right. It's like Paulie Maldonado was saying the other day, and I agree with some of the things he says sometimes. He's saying you can't make a beta understand what an alpha is doing. And that's the fan base of Canelo Alvarez. They're all followers. They're not leaders. They're all not alphas. And that is something that I have been discussing in this channel for many, 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 many years. And it came to a point where I said, you know what, I'm not going to talk about Canelo anymore. But right now he's coming again in the news, fighting Munguia instead of David Benavidez. That's another sign right there when he said, no, I'm not fighting Mexicans. And now he's fighting a Mexican. So, he can't keep track of all his lies. So many lies right now that Canelo has said, that he constantly is contradicting himself. And when he contradicts himself, those Canelo fanboys defend him. So let me tell you guys, I know I'm going to get a lot of comments, from the Canelo fan base in this channel. I'm going to ignore those comments. Completely ignore them. You know why? Because they are delusional, and they are people you can't talk sense into. If I have somebody that comes and asks me a question, respectful question, and puts it and actually intelligently, exposes his points of view, I will answer that. But some of these other guys that continually defending Canelo Alvarez, even though he's showing cowardice in the face of a challenge, you know, that's another thing he says. I'll fight anybody. I'm great. You know, all this other stuff. And you can tell that he definitely is someone that doubts himself. I'm going to tell you something. In my opinion, and the opinion of many experts, if Canelo, and he knows it, if Canelo faces David Benavidez, he's going to be knocked out. He's going to be destroyed. It's going to be like a Mack truck running over a little Fiat, right? That's the way it's going to look. You know, so Turki Al-Rashid, the sheikh from Saudi Arabia, will have no interest in seeing some shit like that. Pay $150 million, $200 million to see a train wreck. See Canelo be destroyed. He knows it. And I'm going to tell you something else. Even if, let's say, by a miracle, Turki Al-Rashid, the sheikh from Saudi Arabia, His Majesty would say something like, all right, you know, I'll pay you what you want, let's get it on. I'm pretty sure Canelo would turn it down. Look for another excuse to turn it down. Because, you know, he is terrified of David Benavidez. So, talking about David Benavidez, or David Benavidez, and his future, he's got to look past Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is a coward. Canelo Alvarez is someone that does not have that Mexican warrior spirit. He is a shameful asterisk in the history of Mexican boxing. If you watch Mexican boxing, if you've seen the greats, you can see that the greats actually, the people embraced their champions. And there's a lot of people out there that are totally mistaken and believe that Mexicans support Canelo. That is not true. And I'll tell Teddy Atlas that. He's always saying that. He's always saying Mexicans and Canelo fans. No, sir. You're talking about Mexican-American casuals, not real Mexicans. Not the Mexicans from Mexico. Not the guys that know boxing. They don't support Canelo Alvarez. They're embarrassed, all right, by Canelo Alvarez antics. As he's continues ducking the #1 fighter in his weight division. Now, like I said, David Benavidez has to look for other opportunities. He's doing that, moving up to 175, fighting tough opponents there, and getting a shot at maybe who is the victor between Dimitri Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. Now that's a fight I'm really looking forward to seeing. It's a fight that that I know is going to attract the knowledgeable boxing fans. That's a fight that I will talk about in this channel, and I just can't wait for that one. And that right there, guys, shows you these Russians, they're not afraid. They want legacy. They want to be the best. They're not asking for money. If you give me this money, this much money, I'm going to fight this guy. Or I choose and pick whoever I want to fight. I'll choose the little guys like Canelo has been doing. You know, his last 3 fights, Canelo has fought little guys. You know, he fought, a club fighter, or, whatever you want to call it, and John Ryder. He fought, a little guy, 154-pound Charlo, who made him come up at 168. Now he's complaining about David Benavidez, another excuse that he's going to gain that 25 pounds during the fight night. You know, he fought an old, I'm talking about Canelo, he fought an old, he waited years to fight Triple G, a diminished Triple G, who hasn't fought again since that fight. Since his last fight, the trilogy against Canelo. In my opinion, Triple G won the first 2 fights. You know, he was robbed in the first fight. Second fight was closer, but he still won in my opinion. And the third fight, well, he couldn't even knock him out. When was the last time Canelo knocked somebody out, guys? So now Canelo has Munguia in front of him. Munguia's going to give him a fight, but Munguia has no defense, guys. Munguia is someone that has been carefully taken in his career in order to have the record that he has nowadays. He's going to give him a good fight. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be able to push Canelo and maybe tire him, and who knows what could happen there. And that might be an upset. But it is a fact that the person that Canelo Alvarez should be facing is not Jaime Munguia, it's David Benavidez. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think that that is more appealing to the knowledgeable boxing fans? A fight between David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez, which I believe is never going to happen because Canelo is terrified of David Benavidez, or a fight between the winner between Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol and David Benavidez. And I'm leaning towards the latter. I think that is a fight that knowledgeable boxing fans really want to see. The other fight is a show in which Canelo does not want to participate. He is an embarrassment to the sport. I've been saying it time and time again. And his collaborators, his partners in crime, are all of these organizations, corrupt organizations, who actually, continue to support this guy and do not strip him of his title for doing what the hell he wants to do and not defend his title against the best. That's the world we're living in today. That's what's going on. And that's what I have to say, my 2 cents regarding this world nowadays with boxing, all right? So, like I said, David Benavidez would destroy Canelo Alvarez, would knock him out inside of 8 rounds, 8-9 rounds. That is my prediction. That's what would happen. And Canelo knows it. That's the reason why he's not going to take that fight. So, David Benavidez, continue doing what you're doing. You're showing the true Latino spirit. You're showing the true cojones and in the sport of boxing, fighting everybody and not being afraid of challenging yourself. All my praise goes to you. We really appreciate fighters like you. Us knowledgeable boxing fans appreciate what you're doing. Casuals, I really don't care what casuals think, because they lack the knowledge. They lack the common sense of putting everything in perspective and researching and seeing what a fighter or a champion should behave. But anyway, guys, these are my 2 cents. I believe that Bivol is going to be fight of the year. I have Beterbiev winning this one by stoppage, and then I like to see David Benavidez against Artur Beterbiev. That would be unbelievable fight. All right, guys. Anyway, this Coach Mario, owner, head coach of Warriors Pride Boxing Academy, saying hasta la vista. Oh, I forgot one thing, guys. Remember, this weekend we have Fundora. We have Fundora versus Tim Tszyu, and I know my last episode, some of you guys weren't really tuning in, and I know the guys that were tuning in were the guys that are really knowledgeable boxing fans. So again, I can't wait to see that fight. That's going to be a really good one while it lasts. I have Tim Tszyu winning. Remember to like my Facebook group. We're going to be starting a chat that night with all my subs, everybody that likes my Facebook group page, which is called Inside the Ropes with Coach Mario. Go and like that page on Facebook, and we'll be talking back and forth, chatting during fight night. Okay, guys? Well, this is all for now. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Remember to hit that bell icon to be reminded of our next episode. Thank you guys for tuning in again. This is Coach Mario, getting better day by day and improving my health thanks to the Lord upstairs. All right. God bless you all. Take care and peace.